Hello and welcome back to the Movie Attic. I'm Mike, and as I've said 1,000 times, this is the attic where I discuss and review movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks for all the nice people out there in YouTube land. That's right, it's that time of the month. No, not that time of the month. It's the time for the Deaf Crocodile Vinegar Syndrome haul. But because there was a delay in the Deaf Crocodile November release, I decided to pair it up with the Criterion ones that I picked up for the month of November and the Vinegar Syndrome ones I picked up for the month of November, which this is kind of a not what it seems episode, because I didn't pick up any regular Vinegar Syndrome titles. These were all partner label titles. And like I say, the Deaf Crocodile part of it's turned into Criterion. But I will start with the Criterion releases. I guess might as well start with the big release, or the big thing I got, not the release, I guess. Of course, here's the big Wes Anderson box set of the first 10 movies that he made. I did an unboxing of this in a previous episode, but it basically comes with cases that look like books. And there they are on this. I guess it's not really a J card, it's just a card that was on the back. I don't know if anybody can see that or read that. So I won't go into too many details with this. Like I say, there's an unboxing video of the whole works, so you can check that out. I would leave a link to it, but I am technologically not so good. So I don't know how you do that with links and all that, but anyway, the second title from Criterion that I picked up in November was this box set of, I guess, Jacques Demy. It's a 6-movie collection. Whoops. Luckily, that was the book. Comes with a nice, reasonably thick book. There's the back of it. I don't suppose that's readable. Yeah, the color of this set doesn't really lend to poor lighting. But there's one of the movies. I don't know how you pronounce that, but you can check it out somewhere. They all have this same kind of motif. Of course, I did a review of this movie, Donkey Skin, which I really liked. And they're, like I say, they're all different color discs, and the inside has kind of a different color thing. The Young Girls of Rochefort. I will say that I know at least 3 of these movies are like musicals. So I don't know if they all are musicals. The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, which I do have the 4K of this one. And then the one guy, Steve, that I got some of these movies because of, he suggested watching like these 3 musicals on a line. There's Bay of Angels. Like I say, I don't know how readable any of this stuff is just because of the lighting. And last but not least, which this might have been the first one, I don't know what order these are in, Lola. So So far, I have only watched Donkey Skin from this set, and I do look forward to watching them all. Nice thick box. And that will lead to my last Criterion pickup for November. Hell's Angels. If you're like me, and like I say, I'm sure you're not anything like me, you know, you see these titles announced months in advance, and some of them you just kind of forget about. And so I didn't know about this coming out until like the day before it was coming out, and when I heard descriptions of it, I was like, yeah, I think I want to get that. Comes with a very thin, oh, it's one of them fold-out deals, which I'm not real keen on, but it comes with the 4K disc and a Blu-ray disc, if I can get her out of there. Oh, and it's got inside artwork. But part of the reason I wanted this is because it's kind of one of those historically, well, it's about World War I, of course, but it's a historically significant movie. Of course, it was directed by Howard Hughes, and Jean Harlow's in it. And I thought somebody had said that this was her first movie. But I like I said, history. I like biplanes. And I thought something that was really cool about this was that it had two different aspect ratios. Like the aerial flying scenes and stuff and dog fights were in one aspect ratio, a larger aspect ratio, and then parts of the other movie are in a smaller one. And I thought that was kind of cool because I do have some movies here that have the IMAX scenes in the movie, and I thought, well, this is kind of like a really, really early version of that. It's from 1930, so I definitely picked that up, of course, because right there it is. Just because my interest in film, and as you probably know, I have, none up here, but I have a bunch of silent movies, and I got movies from all over the place, so I did order one more title, which won't be here until next week sometime, but it's still part of the sale. But I got it on Amazon because they match prices, if you know anything about those Criterion Barnes & Noble sales. So there you go with all of those. So next up I have the Vinegar Syndrome partner labels. As you probably know, Vinegar Syndrome, some people hate them, some people like them. I like some of their stuff. I have no problem. I don't have any problems with any of these companies. If you don't like what they're putting out, of course, then don't buy what they're putting out. But I do buy way more partner label stuff than I do like actual Vinegar Syndrome stuff. So for the month of November, I didn't get anything from the actual Vinegar Syndrome themselves, although there is a title or two that I'm on the fence about, that if somewhere down the road there's no titles, I'll be like, yeah, I'll pick that up now. But you know how some of this stuff works with Vinegar Syndrome, you know, it's all about the slipcovers. That's what I like. So some of them, if you don't get in early enough, you don't get the slipcover, and then you go on eBay and pay $1 million for a $5 movie. But anyway, that's not why you called. The first title, which they're not in any order, is from Cartoona, the label Cartoona. It's Sultana's Dream. I have a few titles by Cartoona, and I like some of the stuff they do. My big title from them that I love is Hundreds of Beavers, but this obviously is not that. But I like the way this was animated. Certain parts of it looked pretty cool. So I thought, yeah, I'll give that a shot. Comes with a reasonably sized booklet. I guess I could put it out so you can actually see the full picture. It is a Blu-ray. And I can't remember whether Cartoona is region, A, B, and C, or I still don't see it. Yeah, A, B, and C. There's the disc, and it has inside artwork. So I decided I was going to get that. Haven't watched it yet. So looking forward to that. Next up, I guess we could do this one. Might as well get into the crazy stuff, because it is crazy. It's Crazy Kids Video Party. I like some of these weirder titles, and this is from that, AGFA and / something weird. They put out a lot of stuff that's like VHS quality, and this is very VHS quality. Comes with a few different movies there. I don't know if you can see that well enough. And I did watch some of these, and they're weird. Comes with this little card-like thing with a QR code on the back for something, I'm sure. There's the Blu-ray disc. And I did watch, I might have mentioned, I watched some of these, and they're very VHS quality, like I said. And it's got inside artwork. But I think if these things were cleaned up, they would be halfway decent. But some of the ones I watched, which I found very hilarious, they kind of remind me of some of the movies I'd watch in elementary school back in, the 1800s and all that stuff. But the one movie, and I think they're in a desert or something, you could actually see the boom mic in the shot. And people talk, and you'd see it go over to them, and then you'd see it go back over. So that was funny, I guess. But you get that edited out, and you clean up some of the video, and you might actually have something. So that was that title. Next up, I guess we might as well stay with the crazies and end on a high note, which it's pretty hard to do on this channel. This was in the thumbnail, of course. It's Hot Spring Shark Attack, and I had watched this a couple times. And you might think, oh boy, that sounds a little ridiculous. And be rest assured, it is. But if you're into shark movies and you like collecting everything sharks, I'm sure this would be right up your alley. It's got very cheesy special effects, which I enjoyed. I mean, the CGI is very easily spotted. It's a Blu-ray disc. Comes with this book. And of course, this guy here, he's a pretty cool character, and I liked him. But this is just off the walls bonkers, and if you like that stuff, you can actually see scenes of this thing where people are wrestling around with these sharks, and there's more than one shark, and you can clearly see it's a stuffed animal. But there's the inside artwork, if that's visible at all. So, like I said, I did watch this. I'll probably review it at some point. And I found it enjoyable. But, as you can probably tell, I like some really goofball stuff. But if you, like I say, if you're a person that collects all these shark movies and every variation of weird shark movies like Sharknado and all that, this might be for you. And last but not least, what a long video. I try to cut these down and they keep getting longer and longer and making people sicker and sicker, of course. This version of Shall We Dance? And I started watching this. Like I've said before, nobody watches movies like I do. I'll put these things in and they'll be playing while I'm doing other things. And then eventually when I get enough, because some of these movies are over 2 hours long, and I don't have a lot of time most days. I don't even have time to shoot this video, so I'll see you. But I'll put them in, just kind of get a loose idea of what's going on, and then I'll at some point sit down for a real viewing where I'm really paying attention to it. Of course, there was a version of this movie with Jennifer Lopez in it. And even before that, I guess there was one with Ginger Rogers from 1937, maybe. It's got a Blu-ray disc with all them peoples on it. Not too bad of a book. Not real thick, not real thin. And there's some cool characters in this movie that are kind of off-the-wall bonkers. And it has inside artwork. But, like I said, some of these movies, I did start actually Hell's Angels too. As some of you might know if you watch the channel, and like I always say, I don't know why you would. I put that movie in. I got sick 2 days before Thanksgiving, so I'm making Thanksgiving dinner while the Hell's Angels was in. And when I go for a real sit-down watch of it, I'm looking very much forward to it. And like I say, I want to watch all those movies from the Demi box set. And of course, what can you say about Wes Anderson? Either you like him or you hate him. And I know there's a few people that just like certain movies of his. But not many directors create their own genre of movies. And I love a lot of what he does. And I think I mentioned before, I haven't seen the first 3 movies that he did. But, he takes like a simple, well, they're simple but complicated stories. Some of them are themes of grief, and some of them are politics, and some of them are, the last one was like good and evil, and, heaven and hell, and all that kind of stuff. And he draws out this just kind of like a off-the-wall take of it with humor that's so dry that you can see cactuses for miles. But I absolutely love it. So, and I was very on the fence about getting that box set because it's very expensive. But there you have it. Nothing to review. But if you've picked up any of these titles, or what did you pick up from Vinegar Syndrome or Criterion during the sale, leave a comment down in the comment section. Like I said, I'd love to discuss it. And until next time, when I will be in the attic, probably doing the best of the rest, which is, you know, when I show off all the other titles that aren't related to usually Vinegar Syndrome and Deaf Crocodile, but this time it was Criterion as well. And I picked up more Criterion this time because of the sale. So, until then, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.